Oh, hey. We're just getting Tom's on his way. So for a minute, it's just you and me. And I'm here to set levels before he gets here. So let's see if you can actually hear anything. And I'm going to double check here on the laptop or the tablet to make. Oh, thank you, Trooper, with 169. Nice. No question, but thank you. Okay, good. All right. So the levels sound kind of fine from my end. The only thing is, see, if I go like this, I may be able to scroll in and out of the, yep, okay. This will be a good way to keep track of the super chats as they go on, because Tom and I will be going back and forth in this. So the next super chat was Seth Voss. He just says more Pontiacs. I don't have any Pontiacs in the loop right now, but definitely in the future. We have to GT. Well, thanks, Dan. Thank you very much. All right. I hope the stream is working for you guys. Well, there it goes for me again. Good. The what's occupying my thoughts right now is NZ and me, which is going to be the next trip for me returning to New Zealand. Yes, RCR Toronto is going to happen, and that's going to happen. Checking the laptop. That's going to happen in August of 2019, and I should have put slow mode on, but I'm not sure how to do slow mode. Toggle timestamps. Nope. We'll just have to use the laptop to slowly scroll through this thing. And oh, Alex 90, thank you for £2. Steve Fang says, I think Mr. Regular is addicted to kiwis. Yep, definitely want to go back. It felt like on a different planet, and I want to go on a different planet in a very Futurama way. I don't want to be on this planet anymore. I wonder if I can. Oh, hey, Cameron. Thank you for the donation, Cameron. E36 M3 or Civic Type R on the Nuremberg. I've never been on the Nuremberg ring. I guess if you're experienced, the answer is going to be the E36. But if you're not, it's going to be it's going to be the Type R. CA Rider 199, no question, but thank you very much. Bite my shiny metal ass, yeah. Oh, is this really Tony Rumble? Tony. Is this really Tony Rumble right there? $20? Well, Happy New Year, man. I haven't seen you in forever. The last time, if this really is Tony Rumble from Bruce Hens, the last time I saw you was your last day at Bruce Hens Garage. If this really is Tony Rumble, it was the last day at Bruce Hens, and let me see if you said anything else. the very last car Tony Rumble worked on was Goldie, our Subaru Forester that we use as the camera car. That was the very last car he worked on before he works at Penske now. So if this is you, I thought I offered to sell the car to you at friend prices, or really, really way low friend prices, with the idea that I was going to replace my naturally aspirated Subaru Forester with the turbo version of it, the Forester XT. I drove two different Forester XTs. One a stock one, and one with like a stage 2 Cobb tune on it, bigger boost controller. There did have a larger turbo. It did have the STI intercooler, STI injectors, and I think the turbo as well. And that thing moved, and also drank. And then the stock one moved as well, but also drank. And I'm like, for a daily, you don't need power to go in the snow. And that's what the Forester is for. It's like, it's a daily, and when the snow comes, you just don't stop. You keep going. So I'm going to hang on to my beige Subaru. So, yeah, I don't think I'm going to sell it. Right now it's throwing a emissions code, but I live in a county that doesn't have emissions. So, man, I hope I run into Tony again. I miss Tony Rumble. Making sure I'm caught up. Yeah, that was Tony. Benjamin Branscombe says, finally able to buy Super Chat. Happy New Year's. Well, thank you, Ben. Happy New Year's to you. One of the guys with the Centurion van truck's going to show up with some babes. Babes that like Centurion van trucks. I haven't seen them for a while. They have we have an open invite to go up and hang out with them in Boston. Willer Sola Lopez says, are there fireworks going off where you are? No, there's not. It's raining really hard here tonight. Matt Graham says Tony Rumble confirmed. Matt Lees, no question, but thanks you again for a one nice price. Thank you. Andrew Saxon with 10 pounds. HNY. Not sure what that means. HNY from England. Love to have you back. UK Commercial Vehicle Museum has reopened. Would happy to give you a tour. Don't ask drunk me on New Year's, though. Okay. Yeah, I totally want to come back to the UK. I don't know when. New Zealand gets priority right at this point. Taheen Moody, I think I'm pronouncing that right and incorrectly as well, for Kanakistan money. What do you think about the Hyundai Veloster N? I think what they're doing is trying to find a way to chase the Ford Focus RS, but you know, trying to easily beat him at price point, because the Ford Focus RS, when that came out, that was redunculous. I think it's good value. I have yet to see the interior, and if Hyundai improve their interior game, I totally think they can. Pedro Cabrera, thank you so much for your donation, sir. Thanks for all your work. Hope to see more of you in 2019. Yeah, the weird thing is, Pedro, like I just finished doing all the books, like all the expenses and income from RCR 2018. So I'm done with taxes. Well, I hand them to my accountant, and then she tells me what I owe. But just like Ned Flanders, I beat Ned Flanders. It's the day before January 1st, and I'm already done my taxes. But it's weird that I just counted my 3-ring binders, and RCR has been going on as a professional endeavor for 4 years. An entire graduating class went from freshman to senior year. And RCR has always been in your world. So I guess congratulations to the class of 2019 who's graduating. It's weird that, like, I've been in your world the entire time, and I've long been a fan of car culture, and over the past 4 years have become car culture. Some folks have sent me friendly emails and friendly instant messages complaining that I have driven up the prices of cars by giving them positive reviews. Lord knows I did the same with the K5 Blazer that just came out. That car is amazing. Andrew Smith, thank you for your donation, sir. Used GS350 all-wheel drive versus Subaru Outback or other equivalent for $15,000. All right, you know I'm on Team Subaru, so I always go Outback, but I don't know if they're really compared. A GS350 is a more sporting car versus a Subaru Outback. But for $15,000, you could get the Subaru Outback GT and have 250 horsepower. So that would be my thing if you're really going for performance, is to go for the Outback Turbo. Magnus Buenovici says, wait a minute, what time is it over there? It's 7:50 p.m. Tom and I have registrations at a brewery at 10 o'clock. So we're going to have a hard out probably at 9:30. So this podcast, when he gets there, is probably only going to go for an hour and a half. Yeet. People are saying yeet. Matt Graham. Beer money. 3 exclamation points. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you too, man. Thank you. Your money will be very well spent. It will not be spent tonight at the bar. It will be spent on the screen when I return to New Zealand. When I do RC NZ and me, which is probably what the trip is going to be called, because Nick isn't coming there for that. This is all me. The thing is, last time I went to New Zealand, yeah, we were there on Automation's dime. So I experienced New Zealand through a camera lens. I didn't really have a time to play. So I'm going to go back and just take a GoPro. So there'll be plenty of like POV shots. I'm definitely going to drive things. But it's not going to be like full production mode. I thought about, well, maybe I can take 2 GoPros, or maybe I can take my Panasonic Lumix and a GoPro. But then I realized I'm going back into production mode again, and don't do that. Just take a GoPro, strap it to your head, and it'll be POV NZ. That's like another way to describe it. I hear somebody at the stairs, so I think Tom's here. Hey, come on in. It's wet out there. Yeah, no problem. Oh, nice. We'll have that to talk about. Yo. I can hang that up for you. You want it? E.
That is different from yeet.
I don't know. Yeet is, I don't know. People in the chat are already saying yeet, and I don't know what it means.
Yeet is.
Nice jacket.
Thank you. It's there's this Vine where this girl like gives another girl a can of soda.
Yeah.
And she goes, "This bitch," and they're like walking on the way into school. It's
Yeah.
like really crowded. She goes, "This bitch empty." Yeet! Just throws it into the crowd. I think yeet is like a tally ho.
Okay.
Or Excelsior.
All right, so let me get you water. Let me get glasses. It's already going. So.
Oh, it is? You started it already?
Yeah.
I'm going for 15 minutes.
I tried to find glasses that would serve the same purpose: beer, wine, and whiskey.
Yeah, those are good.
Yeah.
Are they glass or
Glass.
Okay, cool. Retweet this. Do you have a link?
Second.
Is the link in the tweet?
Just go to YouTube, my page, and it'll be there, and it'll be something you can use.
We may need, sorry about that delay. I'm going to have to move the camera more toward Tom. There we go. So can I fit my water below here? Yes, I can. And also to keep track of the chat as it goes by, we can use the tablet, because you can scroll through the questions then if it moves too fast up on the screen. Let me catch up with everybody because Tom came in. Tom's off. He's posting that he's here. Iced Ink, thank you for your donation. Luck would have it, I'm drinking tonight too, judging by the stream title. Broke out the apple pie wine. Good shit. Sounds like it'd be back sweetened to hell. Something with a name like apple pie wine. But there's nothing wrong with sweet wine. Lisa E says, all right, boys, everybody yeet now. Lisa E says yeet. Matt Graham says, beer money, Happy New Year. I think I already read that one. Yeah, I asked the thing about the GS350.
You just have the one.
Yeah, the one camera, because we were running into problems with the stream cutting out and lagging really, really bad. Maybe, and it was also open broadcaster software. But in the meantime, YouTube came out with its own broadcasting format. So we're going directly from a browser window, which doesn't allow us to have multiple cameras, not yet. But we can use Instagram. I can use Instagram if you want. We can post pictures to Regular Cars Instagram of the beers as they come up.
Okay.
And in this way, I have to go get my phone. German Foreman, thank you for your donation. Let me get this mic out of my face. You got to get your hands on some Russian cars. They're hilarious, hysterical to drive. Happy New Year's. You know, I was looking at a Moscovich on Craigslist. There's a guy in Philadelphia selling a maroon one. And asking price $9,000. And I'm like, I don't know if that's good or bad. It looked kind of cool. It honestly looked like a Lancia. Justin Lose is fixing up his Yugo, and he's we're going to be using that for the retreat from Moscow rally at the end of January. Gavin just says Happy New Year. Back 40 Aqua 199 says it's pronounced Coronet. Yeah, I know. I was saying Dodge Cornet. It's Coronet. Yep. Love you. AMC Javelin. Yes, AMC Javelin. Nick likes those too. I mean, he has a soft spot for American Motor Company. And the AMC Javelin was like the forgotten muscle car. Andrew Saxton, thank you again for £5. Should have said Commercial Vehicle Museum is in the town of Leyland, namesake of British Leyland and Leyland trucks in my ho town. Don't know if that was intentional or not. Man, I have a corduroy jacket that would actually, well, it wouldn't go with these pants.
You don't have to be fancy. Since we're going out, I figured.
Yeah.
Might see some people from high school there, you know?
Yeah.
Kindle some old flames.
Yeah.
Not.
All right, Tom's here. We got to make sure his levels are all right.
Get on my level.
Feet. This will be here. You can adjust it as need be. Speaking to the side with the paint tape on it, but I think we're good. Guys, take a gander at Tom and see if he sounds good in your ears.
Do I sound good in your ears? I'm gonna talk like this a little bit. 99.1 Temple University Radio.
Yes.
That's a sample track from
Actually,
Oh,
I can
train
listen to you
wrecker.
here.
And see if
I'm not a
something
lawyer.
in your
I am a doctor,
I sound good in
but
your
not that kind of
ears.
doctor.
I'm gonna talk like this. 99.1 Temple University Radio.
Sounds good to me. All right. Monica and Nugget says, don't. Monica and Nugget say, hey, it's David McNewitt. David McNewitt, race car driver, and a as his wife, Monica, friends from Austin, Texas. I did not. That was a okay. So this stream is going to be about beer and wine. Tom Mix, certified beer judge, wine judge, and doctor of chemical engineering. Also,
SE.
longtime friend. Owner, a one-time owner of a 1990 Volkswagen Fox.
91.
Oh, 91.
Volkswagen Fox, not the Wolfsburg edition, the regular, the Pittsburgh edition.
But yours
Actually,
had,
it was made in Mexico.
Oh, it was a Mexico build.
Yeah.
Yours had the white rally wheels.
I'm sorry, Brazil. It was made in Brazil.
Brazil.
It had the, I don't know about the wipers. It
The
barely
white-
worked.
white-
They barely worked.
Dude, we called it the unit because it was quite the unit. But I thought it was like the coolest car around because it had so much life to it. Even though it died a lot, that was its charm. Like
I broke it a lot. Somebody said Busch Light is the best. I live in Iowa when the official beer of Iowa is, in fact, Busch Light. And Iowa State fans at the Alamo Bowl supposedly drank the entire stadium out of Busch Light, in spite of the fact that Busch sent a guy with like a backup truck full of Busch Light in case they ran out. But then they tweeted they actually had 117 cans left. So they drank all but 117 cans of Busch Light. Called a Busch Cookie or a Blue and Tasty.
What's that?
A Busch Light.
Oh, okay.
Blue Tasty. I'm going to set a timer this time because we tend to ramble.
Yeah.
And
I'm only
places to be probably.
Dragon Arcadia. Thank you for your donation. I'm only having one beer tonight. It's a 1.5 liter Heineken. Happy New Year.
Nice.
Shades of Cascades, which I always mispronounce. I was wondering if you think Nissan making the Leaf look more like a regular car will be a shot in the arm for cheaper electric cars. Yes. The first Nissan Leaf was very much, it had bits of the GM EV1 in it, and good and bad, but yeah, they figured out that the Honda Civic hybrid and also the the GM Bolt, not the Volt, the B as in Bravo Bolt, did pretty well. One person said moonshinery, which probably referring to this. Should we start with this, or where should we start?
You want to heat some up?
Oh, right, we got to heat it up.
Yeah, you got to do it warm.
Okay. Well,
that could be our intermezzo.
Yeah.
This doesn't have moonshine in it, but an ancient recipe of it did. All right.
Lisa E, thank you for your donation. Great content. My dad's 1966 AMC Rambler Classic, nice, survives another year after the brakes failed. Good. Keep that thing running. The Ramblers are always good value. Get your beer and assorted alcohol questions ready, because that's what we're about to talk about. Matt.
It's the Costanza says, does Tom like Yingling? Of course.
Yeah.
I like it okay. It's fine.
It played a pivotal role in our youth.
We get this question all the time because we're from Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
But it's fine. Yingling lager is just, it does its job. It's a Mexican lager, basically.
Mm-hmm.
It's mostly corn.
I've grown tired of the aftertaste, and I only really want it when it's cold out of the tap. I mean, if
that's where it's best.
Yeah.
All right. The green bottle, don't get it in the green bottle. If you have to, do it in a can or a quart.
Brown bottle
lager quart.
Matt Graham, thank you for your generous donation. Well, in that case, have some more for the cause. I'd love to try and make it over to New Zealand while you're there, if I can. I'm very flattered that you would want to come all the way out from Australia to New Zealand to see me. I know the prices of flights are pretty cheap for you guys. It's going to be in March. I haven't bought the tickets yet. Or there's all the yeets. There it is. I just caught up to all the yeets as I scroll down. Vershark Ravi. Will you ever do regular public transit reviews? So now I'm answering the questions that came up when we were standing over there. Will you ever do regular public transit reviews?
Remember anywhere in a place where there's public
transit? Yeah, not here. Well, we got Squiggle Transit System.
That's true. I saw a bus today that was going to Shenandoah from Pottsville.
Nice.
Yeah. I didn't know you could even do that.
So I will get to all your super chats, but we have about an hour to talk about beer and have a few. I need to go very light. In the past year, I know that look. I drink very small amounts, like 2 beers at a time. That's it. But it's New Year's, I know, and
I brought 6, and we're splitting them.
Okay,
so that's like
3. Okay. How high volume are they? What are we starting with?
We're going to start with, I've never had this beer.
Oh, I need to Instagram this.
Is that the best way? Okay.
Camera's up there.
Instagram. Oh, the camera's up there. That's why I was like, it's not getting any. All right. This is a grisette from a brewery called Penrose Brewing Company. And it is in Waunakee, Wisconsin. Waunakee? That has a different, I think that's Waunakee. Pull a sick dab. I have a 6-year-old, so she dabs all the time.
All right.
You know, grisette from Penrose in Wisconsin. A grisette is a saison. It's like a diet saison. Not diet.
So you can follow all this through you can follow close-ups of these beers in real time on RCR's Instagram page.
Nice pour. The glasses are very clean.
So they are clean or aren't clean? I wash them.
No, they are.
With soap.
It's holding the foam. Now, a style like this. So if you've ever had a saison, it's like a saison that is a little bit lighter in the malt bill. It's a little more refreshing. The saison is usually about 7 or 8%. This guy is going to clock in at 4.5. So It's nice and light, nice and easy. And it's a Belgian sort of farmhouse sort of style.
Cheers, 2019.
It's called grisette because apparently the women that would come around and serve these when like the miners were having lunch would wear gray dresses. It's like grise, like in French-speaking region of Belgium.
It tastes like a summer beer, but far too flavorful to be a lawnmower beer.
Too flavorful for the lawnmower. Yeah, it's not a chugger. Even though it is light, it's very flavorful because it has a lot of saison character.
Yeah.
And you'll notice this foam is pretty solid.
Yeah.
That's a Belgian style thing if you have really good foam.
Lisa E says, "What's happening? I'm just making nachos." This would be a good nacho beer. Like anything crispy to eat it with.
Yeah, but I wouldn't chug it, but you could if you were thirsty. And a saison is nice like that too. A saison will be a little more thirst quenching, even though it's high alcohol. So you got to be careful if you are thirsty and you're drinking saisons. They can finish real dry and real crispy.
Daniel Corica, thank you for your donation. I've got to work tonight, leaving at 10 p.m. Here's more beer money. Don't cry for me. I'm making double time and a half.
Whoa.
Oh, nice. Good job, Dan. And I'm flattered that you want to share a little bit with us. Kenny says, Mr. Regular needs to review a true Toyota Echo, the hatchback Canada got. Yeah, I remember seeing them when we went up to Montreal. They were up there.
Foam head. Is this a regional thing? Yeah. I mean, you would call it head basically, but I called it foam just because it was like, it's really, you can't see it, but it's very bubbly. The bubbles are very large, but it's holding the lacing very.
What is lacing?
Well. Lacing is this on the edge of the glass. When you do this, if it holds its head very well, and if it leaves that kind of, it looks like lace on the glass, like lingerie.
This
beer looks like Hoegaarden. It's unfiltered,
lacing.
Probably like Hoegaarden, but it's not a Weizen. It's definitely a saison.
I think I can make this text bigger.
The unit loves head. Oh God.
Okay, Tom's going to be a little bit cropped out, but don't worry, you're off to one side, but
it's fine.
You're still in frame.
They're not here to see me anyway.
No, I didn't crop you out. I just made the picture bigger so it's easier to read the text. It just zoomed in a little bit. And if any time you miss something, you can grab it from this and scroll up and down.
I see.
So Guy in the purple car, thank you for your donation. I've got a 5-year-old iMev. I'd love for you to roach HNY. What does HNY mean?
Happy New Year.
Yes, that makes perfect sense.
Thank you, Stuart Richards. Thank you. I hope you have fantastic 2019 too. This is my first drink of the night.
Nice.
I hope it's fantastic.
Robert S., thank you for your donation. Formerly DACA Jones 5. Oh, okay. I know who you are.
Empoo. Are you the Finnish guy that was on last time? Empoo. The Finnish Flash of regular beer reviews.
Robert S., thank you for your donation. Formerly DACA Jones 5. Hey guys, Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you. Question for both of you. What are some of your highlights from the past year? Well, we're going to talk about, I'm going to talk about cars and you're going to talk about, I don't know what you're going to talk about, but we'll go over.
Highlight.
Okay. Highlights from this past year was, of course, RCR New Zealand and also RCR UK. As far as cars I've driven, the highlight is going to be one I can't talk about yet because I drove it in 2018, but the review is not coming out until 2019. It is a very large vehicle. It is not the what is it? The military truck. The Deuce and a Half. It's not the Deuce and a Half. It's something similar in outer dimensions, but it's what?
The Double Deuce.
The Double Deuce. Not to be confused with the single. That's yours. In case you need water.
Single Deuce.
That's coming up. It's a particular engine swap that everybody loves and everybody does, but it's in a vehicle you wouldn't expect. And
my beer highlight of the year is that yesterday I had a chance to drink one of the whitest whales out there. And I'm not usually a whale chaser, but I happened to be in Copenhagen for reasons that I won't get into. And I was at a bar and I saw this bottle on the wall. And I was like, is that what I think it is? And the guy was like, yes. It was Westvleteren 12. And if you are a beer nerd, you know what that is. Westy 12 or Trappist Westvleteren 12 is one of the rarest and most sought after beers in the world. And you can only get it at this monastery in Belgium.
Really?
This is the only place you're legally allowed to buy it. And so that has added to the mystique. That's not a whale. I had a whale of a time. But anyway, I'm in this bar in Denmark and I was like, I think that is Westy 12. I was like, yes, it is. So I bought it. That's the only beer I bought back from Denmark. But I had it yesterday and it's good. It's fine.
Oh, is that when you posted? I saw the post that you made.
It's the bottle is completely blank. The only thing that distinguishes it is this cap.
Really? Okay.
Right. But it was a rare beer in 2006. Well, if you have to go to Europe to get it, right? It's okay. So they do have some beer nerds on here. It look, it was not the greatest beer I've ever had. But I thought it was very good, and I thought it was a nice experience to drink it with some of my family on Christmas. So
nice.
So there.
Your family went to Belgium with you?
No, I brought it back here.
Okay.
I had it yesterday. Overhyped like
what was the customs like? You just like, hey, I have this bottle, or
I just checked it in my bag.
All right. No one cares.
Yeah.
Christopher Conrad, hoping you might get my name right in 2019. Christopher Conrad. Christopher Conrad?
Conard.
Oh, man.
Conard.
Conard. Oh.
You're going to have to keep paying.
Okay. Where is regular sound reviews? Sounds good in my ears. Sounds good. Time for dad. Scrolling through. M Beats, thank you. Hey, it's good to see you. And I'm sorry I'm looking up and down from the camera, but now I read your stuff through a tablet. Respect for the not Joker. I'm not sure what that means. More people saying yeet. Happy New Year. Brown. Brian Webley. No question, but thank you for the $1. Car question. Vega Sidixro. 6-Cizro. I bought the most basic olds, a 1981 Delta 88. I think Erica Carlton once drove one of those. 307 V8 with no power seats. Power windows, trunk release button, radio antenna, rear defrost, vinyl roof, very stripped down, no frills. Then why would an Olds be stripped down? They were like a mid-level thing. It should have been a Chevy. I'm glad you enjoy it. There's nothing great. Like Malaise is now the new hip. Like Malaise era cars is to beer what Jenny Cream was to PBR in Ithaca, in that the PBR beers were like 90s Corollas and stuff. Like, oh, they're crap, aren't they great? But then they became popular and became expensive. So something new had to come in and take the place that was even more ironic.
But still objectively not very good.
So that's Malaise era cars, which is like 1972 to 1983 or something like that. Mostly American.
Oh, Malaise, like Carter.
Yeah.
The speech. I
don't know the speech. What is it?
He says something about we were in a state of national malaise.
Oh. Well, oil crisis, hostages and everything, and the cars weren't that great. But the thing is, you drive 70s Japanese cars, like old Celicas that I got to drive. They drive like 90s cars. It's unbelievably good. And you get into a 70s car, from a domestic car, and like, ugh. Blacksman Lewis says, home brew and home grow. Oh, is he crossfading?
Manual typewriter in your Malaise mobile.
I hope he's not crossfading. Did I catch up?
Mexican cake. Mexican cake is who? Is that Evil Twin?
I'm not sure.
It's Mexican biscotti cake.
Someone just says fudge man. I know what that is.
Okay.
Meta Roos.
Should we keep drinking?
Yes, we shall. I will get to your super chat, Meta Roos.
Podcast gets more interesting the more beers we have.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to have more. All right. So our next beer it's from Odell in Colorado, in Fort Collins. And it's called Cloudcatcher Milkshake IPA. And I brought this because speaking of kind of fads, Milkshake IPA was a kind of an early 2018 thing where people were making IPAs. It's like a combination of a milk stout and an IPA.
Okay.
It's like an IPA, but you add lactose to it, and it's supposed to give it a kind of thicker mouthfeel, and it's supposed to finishes a little sweeter and stuff. And there came this whole kind of style out of it called this Milkshake IPA. We're about to find out if it tastes like a milkshake right now. So let's pop it. I have mostly cans today, so let me put my glass over here. Let's see if I can pour this one better. It is also a little, it's quite hazy. That's left over. I mean, that's not the lactose can, whatever they add, can add that haze, but like also if it's going to be hazy, you don't have to filter it anyway. It kind of lumps on that hazy IPA trend. But the key difference with this is going to be that it's going to be a little bit sweet on the finish because yeast don't eat lactose. They just leave it there. So a milk stout, if you see a milk stout, there probably isn't milk in it. It's probably lactose. Milk sugar. Yeast can't eat it, so you can put it in the brew and it will leave residual sugar in the beer.
Huh. I haven't gone out of my way to order one.
Half Bud Light, half eggnog. That's not a bad description, Mariano Perez.
There was the one time last time I remember ordering a milk stout was the end of like right after my like some thesis and right before I went off to student teach, and I was at K-Town Pub in Kutztown, and my physics roommate Tyler Grimm said, we're going out on your behalf, and we had milk stouts, and that was the last time I remember ordering one. And I can't remember if now this was 2012, and I can't remember if it didn't taste like this in my memory. My memory says it was like a Guinness clone, but Guinness is what is it?
It's an Irish stout.
Okay.
That's a particular style that's finishes drier. But Guinness is actually its own kind of thing because it has a little sourness in it that's a little bit. Perpetual IPA for me here in my underwear from Trogs.
Nice.
But this is the lactose, the physical, the sugar being there can add body to it, but it also adds sweetness, and that's more like the perceived body. Is the sweetness. So you perceive less bitterness, so it feels the bitter and the sweet kind of sort of cancel out, and so it feels less bitter. And there's a lot of anyway. This is also 7%. One of the biggest contributors to mouthfeel is alcohol, of course, as well. So it feels heavier when it's more alcoholic, even though the density is actually slightly.
You know, it just always hits me like I'm trying to lift too heavy is Mad Elf. The very first sip lets you know you're in for this is 2 beers.
Yeah, well, it's 11%.
Yeah. And there's no, like, I'm trying to think of a beer that masks that, and it's probably Golden Monkey masks the taste, even though that's 9% versus 11. That is way sweeter and way easier to drink than Mad Elf. Of course, they're two different. It's a Belgian, something triple.
Belgian strong. It's either triple or a strong. The differences between Belgian strong and Belgian triple are subtle.
Oh,
but so I think it actually is a triple. But anyway, yeah, there's some leftover stuff. It's not fully attenuated, so it is a little sweeter.
Someone says Rasputin doesn't mask anything.
No. Have you tried the Christmas Trogs? I think that's what Brian was talking about. The Mad Elf.
Yeah, it only comes out around this year.
Yeah, I had a vertical of that at Trogs the other day, actually.
What's a vertical?
They're pouring the 2016, 2017, and 2018 Mad Elf on draft, and so you can go get that, and it's like $6 for a flight of tasters of Mad Elf. So it's actually a pretty good deal. You just have to go to Harrisburg or Hershey to get it.
I accidentally dad scrolled, so I'm trying to
accidentally dad scrolled. Present 6 point.
I have a lot of questions to get to. Meta Roos. Happy New Year. Have you ever played Forza Horizon? And I have, and it sucks without a wheel. It's not like Gran Turismo or any video game. In order to be okay at it with a controller, you have to have some driver's aid on. I don't like Forza unless I'm sitting in some nerded out racing seat like you had on the floor. Remember that rolly seat in your room you used to have? Yeah.
Video gaming
seat. That was the best.
Or video rocker.
Yeah.
All the rage in the mid-90s.
90s cars, they're just coming back. Someone paid $15,000 for a 1998 Honda Civic. It was perfectly clean, but they paid 15 grand for it.
I wish we had held on to my 98 Hyundai Elantra, but the gas tank was about to fall off.
Yeah, Yeah, there was water in the trunk. Ice Stink said, okay, here's a beers question. Ice Stink says, tried Speedway Stout the other day. Unsure
Awesome.
of what I think of it personally. It's a heavy Russian Imperial beer mixed with coffee. Went well with steak, though.
That sounds good. Those flavors kind of mix up. The not burnt, but the toasty, roasty from a steak. And it's Maillard. It's the same reason. That's the Maillard reaction that makes those tasty brown and all the brown stuff anyway.
Like
Maillard.
the char on it?
Not like the char, but when you mix protein and any kind of sugar, like if you put butter on a steak and then you grill it, the residual sugar in the butter might it causes that like nice brownness, and that's a delicious flavor. But that sounds pretty good actually. There was, Jim Cook a while ago was like, I want Sam to be the beer you have with steak.
Jim Cook?
He's the guy from Sam Adams.
Ah.
And he was trying to sell Sam Adams as like the beer you would have with steak. I guess. For me, Sam Adams is the beer I have at the airport. And they only have Bud Light and nothing else at Sam Adams. So.
Oh man, there was this place in Austin Airport that did tacos really well. And I mean, it was just like tacos and IPAs. And I don't know in the beer world if IPAs are getting played out, but they had like 4 of them there. They were all cans. They had nothing on tap, but it was like, hey, taco, $3. I'm like, $3 for a taco in an airport. All right, I'll have that and a beer. And I went around the corner. I wish I remember the name of the place.
What airport was it?
Austin.
Oh,
Austin Bergram International.
Was it a walking taco?
It was. Is that taco in a bag?
Yeah.
No, it was a taco. I had to sit down.
Taco. Well, like walking taco is a Midwest thing. You get a bag of Doritos and fill it with sour cream, and you put some meat in there, and you spoon out sour cream flavored Doritos.
I was in Muncie. I think we talked about this at Trogs. I was in Muncie, Indiana, a few weeks ago. They love their buffets everywhere.
Yes, old country buffet.
I think the question ends with, by the way, it's 12% APV. That tried triple speedway stout. Any thoughts? And I guess you gave your thoughts on a beer, but what are I suppose the continuation is, what are your thoughts on like high APV beers?
You just have to you can't drink them like regular beer. You have to treat them with respect. You have to treat them like wine, basically, right? An 11% beer is very close to like a Mosel Riesling in its sort of ABV content, right? And so if you're going to be drinking high alcohol beer all night, you're going to be having less water all night. And so you're probably going to be, even if you drank the same amount of like alcohol units, if you drank them in old Rasputins, also those bigger ones are going to have higher, they're going to have leftover stuff in there. They sometimes if they're fermented warmer, they might have some fusels in there that might cause a little hangover. I'm not that kind of doctor, so this is not medical advice. But I just think if you do go for the high alcohol beers, which I love and are very flavorful, you have to treat them with respect. Is that all? So I have a shout out to the Mucky Duck Pub. I should be there hosting trivia tonight in Ames, Iowa, but instead I'm here in Pennsylvania, and they are watching at the pub right now. They said,
"Oh, who said?"
So Justin and Connor,
oh, nice,
probably are working tonight, and they are watching at the Mucky Duck Pub in Ames, Iowa.
Well, when eventually RCR Ames happens, we'll go there.
I've had a lot of people ask me when you're coming. Once they find out that I know you, they're like, "I know this car."
Like should I do like the easiest thing to do is to do it in the summertime because that's the nice time to go out and film, but would I be sticking it to the students who are away?
No, I mean the people that I know are, well, I wouldn't call them grown-ups, but some grown-ups, but there's also some 20-somethings.
And I use the term townie affectionately.
Yeah, I wouldn't call them townies either.
Jeff V, thank you for your donation. Happy and prosperous New Year to you and the Roman and Tom and everybody else associated with RCR. Cheers. Hey, cheers.
Okay, speaking of Iowa, just trying to move this along here. I brought a beer from Iowa, from my current state. This is from Toppling Goliath, which you may know of from Pseudo Sue, is a famous beer out of there that's gotten a lot of play. It's an all Citra thing. This is Fire Skulls and Money. And I don't recall. Oh, it's right here. It's Citra, Mosaic, and Galaxy, and Nelson hops. So it's going to be a tropical paradise here. And it weighs in, I think, around 7%. May not say. But TG is in Decorah, Iowa. And it's which is basically Wisconsin. It's like the very northeast corner of Iowa, or northeast. And
the dude on the right, Mario, is Tom Mix. You can look him up on Twitter. He is my longtime friend, certified beer judge, doctor of chemical engineering, and is here to answer beer questions. And I will drinker. And I'm here to answer car questions. And Happy New Year! Oh, I'm sorry, not Mario. Mariano Perez. Thank you.
So Fire Skulls and Money from Toppling Goliath. Shouting out to Ames, Iowa. They have this at the Mucky Duck Pub, I think, where I should be hosting trivia, but instead I'm here doing regular beer reviews. Be-doo-be-doo-be-doo-be-doo-be-doo. Pour that yourself. Sounds fruity. Yeah, like I said, Citra, Galaxy, Nelson, and Mosaic.
Oh, so, yeah, definitely fruity. So what's the difference between... I mean, this is a simple
these are
beer
names
question.
of hops.
Ah.
They're kind of the hottest specialty hops right now, and basically this beer is all of them together. Citra is one that is in like Pseudo Sue, for example, is all Citra, and it caught really, really popular really fast. Mosaic is kind of funky. It has almost a diesel or sometimes a marijuana quality. Sometimes if it's too much, but very tropical. You live in Madison and you're too tired to brain says, what good beer is there in the Midwest? I live in Madison. You live in Madison and dude, you can just walk into anywhere and drink a beer. Madison is a great beer town. And there's so many breweries around there too. You know, once you get past Spotted Cow.
What's Spotted Cow?
Spotted Cow is from this Wisconsin brewery called New Glarus. Which is kind of a great intro craft beer place. And Spotted Cow is their cream ale, and they make oodles of it. You can only get it in Wisconsin, so it's fancy. But there's lots of other great breweries in Wisconsin. So in the Midwest in general, Surly's great. Toppling Goliath, if you can get it.
The one Kia, this is more a question of Tom for Tom, Mr. Regular, but say Tom Mixed. Have you ever heard of Friuli?
Friuli.
Right,
Friuli. It's a European fruit beer. No, I've heard of Friuli. That's a wine region in Italy. No, I mean, I didn't have that when I was in Denmark.
Dustin, he has no question. He just says hot dicks, hot dicks, hot dicks, hot dicks.
Did he pay for that?
He paid $2 to tell him to have me say hot dicks, because in one recent review I just said hot dicks for 50 seconds. It was a very endurance bit of humor.
I understand. The Family Guy style.
Yeah. Guy in the purple card, no question, but thank you for $1. Benny Linares. 2018 was awesome because I was entertained by 2 channels from Pennsylvania, RCR in East PA and Urinating Tree over in Pittsburgh. Looking forward to great content from the Keystone State. Cheers to you, man.
Pennsylvania.
Cheers to the Commonwealth. Alex90 said, I have a vision for a cool sleeper. First-gen Ford Pinto with a Sierra. Yes, it's been done. Alex, go to Ford Nationals. You will see Pintos with Sierra RS Cosworth drivelines and modern suspensions. They're great. 2.3 Lima. Understand that their intakes were a little bit dated, and they T at the end of that, so there's a little bit of bottlenecking as far as the intake air. What a lot of early turbocharged cars were, they used their traditional intake manifolds, but now there was a turbo in front of them shoving air in. So you have all this air trying to get into the cylinder, and then you're making it take an immediate 90-degree angle as it goes down into the cylinder. So it was very much like the middle school cafeteria lunch line trying to get in there, and Mr. Vakula is the right angle, stopping you from running. So you have all this pressure, and it can't...
Mr. Vakula gets mentioned on this podcast quite a bit. Oh, Jake is pinging me. Hi, Jake. So there was Anthony Ruelas said, "Is there a good honey beer you recommend?" If you're in New York, what's it called? Is it JW Dundee? There's a beer called Honey Brown.
Thank you.
That's a really good. I mean, you can fire back like 5 of them before you even realized it. It's not a great honey beer, but it has honey in the name. But I actually, if you really, really like honey, there's mead, and mead. Some mead tastes like feet, but some is actually really good, really good. And that's just honey and water mixed and fermented. That's kind of fun. And then there are mixes of honey and beer.
Mm-hmm.
And there's honey and wine. If you mix honey and wine, it's called a braggot.
Huh.
So honey and beer. If you mix honey and beer, it's called a braggot. And that is that honey can add some interesting flavors to beer, but it makes it very different from a normal beer. So I wouldn't.
I remember when I was living in Alaska, the postmaster brewed mead. And that was like the only alcoholic drinks I had to drink up there because, alcohol had a bit of a sting to it.
There are bees in Alaska?
No, I think he just got like honey, from
yeah.
Kirkland honey.
Costco.
Yeah. And well, I can ferment this. And indeed he did. So that was all I had, was going over to Haas's house and drinking meat. I never knew his first name. His last name was Lefevre, and he had 3 kids. The man was 6 foot. He was like 6'6", 300 pounds.
That's why he's called Haas, I guess.
Yeah. And his wife was not equally, but also large wife, not fat, just generally large Marge. No, her name was April Lefevre. And lo and behold, you take a large man, like a beefy stock large man and a beefy stock woman, and the kids are huge. We had this one kid. He was great. I won't say his name because at the time he was a minor, but he was already 6 foot tall. Wow. And he was 15 years old. Now he had like shin splints because his bones were like growing so fast. But anyway, their family grew mead, and that was like the only time I got to have a drink while up there in Alaska. Like minus the times that I went. I remember texting you on my slidey phone. I went to this place called Rising Sun Brewery, and I got lit.
Yeah, you called me too.
Oh, I did?
Yeah.
Oh,
that was fun. I was also at a brewery when you called me, but they're much more common in Colorado than they are in Alaska. Somebody asked, have I ever had Hobgoblin? Yes, they have it at the Mucky Duck Pub in Ames, Iowa. It's British. It's supposed to be an ESB. Hey, it's fine. If you're a yellow beer person and you want something that's not yellow and you want to kind of break into the English styles, then Hobgoblin's not so bad, but it's not really that great of the beer, Alex 90.
I think we might have talked about this before, but it's like we're used to now. What's that say? Oh, Gear or someone else? Alex 90.
Have you ever had Kronenbourg 1664? Yes, I have a story about that.
Okay.
I had it on the Champs-Élysées. I went to France with this guy. Yeah. I'm very fancy. You can tell I'm wearing this jacket that my mom got me. It's a
nice liner.
I believe it's a Perry Ellis.
Or lining.
But so we're on the Champs-Élysées, and my buddy, who is French, I was like, dude, there's a McDonald's. We have to go to the McDonald's and get a Royale with cheese, like in Pulp Fiction. Right, exactly. And he was like, if you do that, I'm not going to talk to you for the rest of the day. And I was like, but dude, I mean, it's McDonald's in France. I want to see what it's like, right? So at McDonald's in France, you don't get a quarter pounder of cheese. You get a Royale cheese, and you can get a beer with your meal, and you can just walk outside and drink it. So I got a Cole, I got a Kronenbourg 1664, and a Royale cheese and some, well, I guess just fries.
Yeah.
And they probably don't even call them French fries there. Sweet. And he did not talk to me for like an hour. He was so mad that I was eating French fries on the Champs-Elysees. He's like, "Where on the Champs-Elysees?" And I was like, "Oh, it's great." And I'm drinking a beer, and they had a straw. It had a lid and a straw.
You drank beer with a straw.
At the McDonald's, I got a draft beer with a lid and a straw, and I drank it on the Champs-Elysees. Well, we
Why not?
To the
Why
Arc de Triomphe. Hey, has Tom got any thoughts on Kansas City beer? Boulevard being the obvious one. Anything else in Kansas?
Have you been to Kansas City?
I haven't. I've been to the airport. It kind of sucks.
Oh,
It's weird. It's a big circle, and there's like 1 million security checkpoints.
really?
It's from the Don Draper era of airports, where you just pull up to the car and kiss your wife, and you walk in the door and get on a plane, and stewardess is blowing you.
Yeah.
So it has 1 million security checkpoints because like way pre 9/11, and so there's no airport inside the security. It's just everything's outside of security because there's so many security checkpoints. You do everything, the airport stuff, before you go through security.
New Zealand is like that. All the restaurants and everything is before security, but their security is just, "Hey, mate, good right day. Go on." There's like, it's freaky. I like, are
you got anything in there?
It's like I got on a plane like the hopper from Wellington or Auckland to Wellington, Wellington to Auckland.
The hopper.
And because literally, like, all you do is ascend and descend. It's an hour flight, and they do them
like
every hour.
Islands, kind of.
No, just the North Island.
Oh.
Largest city is Wellington. That's the largest city is Auckland. That's their New York. Wellington is their sort of combination San Francisco, LA. And then South Island is there. And please don't bite my head off, Kiwis. I think the South Island is kind of like one big combination Colorado and sort of Outer Banks, North Carolina feel. I've never been. Hopefully I'll do it in March. Because like, oh, you go all the way to New Zealand, didn't go to the South Island. It's like, I know I didn't go to the South Island. So maybe, I don't know, depending how much, like, if I can budget it, if I can take Juliet and Bryce with me, just pay the flight so we can all go to the South Island and do what? I don't know. It's probably be cold. So I need to, everybody's buying those. I'm going to mispronounce it because I'm great at mispronouncing stuff. These new puffy jackets that everybody's wearing, and they're really expensive. Patagonia. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Patagonia. That's Patagonia makes lots of stuff, but the puffy jacket is making a comeback. Like the episode of Seinfeld with George and the puffy jacket.
Yeah.
It's like a thing now.
I was at Buckman Ski Shop in Reading, and I looked at a Patagonia. $199. Yikes.
Is that good or bad?
That's a bit high.
It's probably stuffed with real.
It was light. It was really light. I put this thing on, and I'm like, man, I look sophisticated. I look like Mount Snow. Or
that's like the Seinfeld episode where you got the Jake Dress trying to hack my phone. So the question was Kansas City Brewers, and none of them come to mind to me. There's some in Manhattan. Tallgrass. It's Tallgrass in Manhattan, Kansas. That's a decent one. I like Tallgrass. And there's one called
Chrysler K car, Lemon Curry 1. Chrysler K car, the number one car I want to view. Dodge Aries K car.
An Aries?
That's it, yes.
My parents had an Aries with station wagon. It's the first car I remember
having. Nice.
It's gold.
There's a guy in New Jersey selling a sedan one for like $1,900. And I was pretty close to buying it. But again, I want to go to New Zealand. So I think I was going to use it for the Retreat from Moscow Road Rally. But I think we're going to use Justin Losa's 1987 Yugo. And
for a rally.
It's not a race. It's just you got to finish.
I see.
But if we roll up,
So you're going to finish in a Yugo.
yeah, if we read the points, and if you show up with a car from a Warsaw Pact country, you get an automatic bonus 250
nice.
points.
Okay. What country is this car from? It no longer exists. Put it in H.
And I thought, okay, if he's going to provide the car, I'll provide the costumes. How much is an Adidas, like Adidas, an Adidas track jacket? So we're going to be like all Slav and get at it. $200 for an Adidas track jacket, a genuine one. Yikes! $80 for a knockoff.
So showing off their wealth, right?
Yeah. I got a Pinto 1.6 4-speed given to me today. That was a good day. The horse lemonade. And thank you for your donation. Let me see if I can catch up here.
Empu is drinking a Petrichor IPA. Something Spanish. Is it?
Okay, we answered the question about honey beers, right?
Yeah, that was a while ago. We did Kansas City breweries, and I didn't name any. I don't know any. I said that we complained about the airport.
CJS, thank you for a generous donation, sir. Please review the Z32, but the TT. The review you did was on the naturally aspirated, I know. I felt like you ripped on the car. I did fucking rip on the car because I was all hyped up about Z cars, and I get in this thing, and I was like, eh. The nicest thing I liked was the interior. And the TT is faster, comes accelerably better. I own one. Trust me, review mine. It deserves more respect. Hey, your make, model, city, state, regularcars@gmail.com, and I will do my best. Gear Guts, thank you for your donation. Some famous past names and cars are coming back. Ranger, Bronco, Blazer, etc. Are the automaticers going to F it up? Thoughts? Well, fuck yeah, they are. Because the Blazer was a car that you could just run into people. And in fact, like we just reviewed a K5 Blazer. And Dominic
ran into somebody.
No, the gangs in Chicago used them to just ram people off the road, like during like the bad Chicago days.
Really?
Well, according to Dominic, they did.
But they also flash their lights behind you.
Yeah.
If you don't, like, they don't have their lights on.
Yeah, then they shoot you.
I don't know.
Initiation. I don't know. Anyway, but that was according to Dominic. Jeff V, $5. Hey, Tom. Oh, question for Tom. Oh, this is a Kansas City beer.
Yeah,
Boulevard Brewery.
You're way back behind on the tablet there. I guess you're trying to get all the super chats, which
yeah.
I guess I
Jeff V says, yeah, the Casey Airport blows. We're supposed to be getting a new one, but it'll be 2049 before it's done, thanks to all the political BS. What are you looking for?
Well, we're about halfway. We can do this one.
Lemon Curry 1 says, what is the number one car you want to review without hesitation? Talked about that. Thank you very much for your donation, sir. And I think, yep, someone just said SEMA. SEMA, we are caught up.
SEMA.
And if at any time you want to scroll now, you can take the tablet.
Okay, so we talked about milk stout. This is a milk stout. It's from Iowa. We're getting darker here. I want to save the heavy ones for the end here. So this is a milk stout, but it's not super heavy. This is called Oreo Speedwagon.
I like it.
And it is from Lake Time.
Happy New Year, Robbie
Steinmetz.
Thank you very much.
I think it's Clear Lake, Iowa. Yeah, Clear Lake. About an hour north of Ames. And Oreo Speedwagon is made with Oreos.
Huh.
It's a chocolate vanilla milk stout. And apparently has Oreos in it. Now, I appreciate a beer that does what it says. Right? You can't ask for anything more than I told you what you're going to get and you got it. Right? A lot of beers do not deliver on that. But this particular brewery, Lake Time, they make a strawberry milk stout that's really good. They add these extra adjuncts, if you're a nerd, just random ingredients. And they're very good at making their beer taste good when they add these things. So this is Oreo Speedwagon. And it really tastes like an Oreo. I mean, I've biased you, but
folks, thanks. I do have a soft spot for Oreo Speedwagon.
You do also.
Because
I heard it from a friend that you did.
Oh,
who heard it
from a friend?
Yeah.
Who heard it from another?
You're jerking me off. Any strong opinions while Brian's pouring? Do you have any strong opinions about the German purity law?
What is the German purity law?
The Reinheitsgebot. Not good at that. 15th century, I want to say. maybe earlier law that said,
But
here
will
are
it
the
keep-
things that you can use to make beer. But will it keep on loving you? So you
See,
take enough
to
of it.
me, REO Speedwagon is the American Queen. You have to go back past from the hits and go to their deeper cuts. I'm like, damn, this guy could sing. Anyway, Flying Turkey Trot, one of their greatest songs.
The Reinheitsgebot was a law that said, here's the things that you can put in beer: barley, water, and hops. And that's all. They didn't even know about yeast. 1417. So I was right. 15th century. Thank you. The reason for that was because barley makes bread that's not very good, and wheat makes beer that's not very good. So this guy, the king Ludwig, said, here is what's going on. You're going to make beer from barley, and you're going to make wheat. You're going to use the wheat to make bread, because the other, if you cross them, they're not going to be very good. That was the purpose of the law. Nowadays, it's used to justify, well, we use this very pure purity law. So it also outlawed Kottbusser because Kottbusser has wheat in it. And rye beers, too. Roggenbier was outlawed as well because you were only allowed to use certain grains to make bread and certain grains to make beer. Wheat beers are great. Fuck you. Yeah, fine. But at that time, a wheat bread, if your choice is eat wheat bread or a die, then you would want the bread. He's trying to manage resources. Settlers of Catan will give you 3 wheat for this sheep, and then we have beer. But anyway, it's not a requirement, of course. These guys have
a good night, Alex X90. You're heading out. Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
Beer. Yeah. I mean,
one guy asked,
you mean like drinking
what beers,
whiskey?
There was one comment that was hidden there. I'm going to click up here and said, show it, because it probably got flagged because he just used the F word. It says, what beers are great to fuck you?
It says wheat beers are great because I had said that wheat doesn't make good beers. At the time, they didn't know. There was some things that they didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so nowadays, yeah, of course, there are a lot of good wit beers.
Okay.
But anyway.
What are your thoughts on Blue Moon?
Again, my mom really likes it. That should be all you need to know.
Do you consider it a craft beer?
No, it's made by Coors.
Okay.
Although I have to say, the brewer, this guy, Keith, I forget his last name, has this really rich baritone.
Oh, like a radio voice?
Yeah, he actually did a commercial a little while ago, and it's very seductive. My mom will say, do you have anything like Blue Moon? And I think it's a good gateway beer to out of Coors Light, but
I wonder if they're
beer? No, of course not. It's made in the same, maybe not the same quantity as Coors Light, but probably the same quantity as like Banquet. It arose as Coors a craft beer. Yeah. It was brewed originally under the stadium at the Colorado Rockies stadium. And you're right, Steve. It's a great way to get people to start exploring craft beers. But it's so it began as this kind of hole in the wall thing. You can only get it at the stadium, and they had a little it's called Sandlot Brewing down there, and they do all these experimental beers. But now it's made at tremendous scale. Coors Field, yes, that's the name of it. Thank you. I lived in Colorado for 4 years, and I forgot the name of the damn stadium. Have I tried New Glarus Spotted Cow? I was shitting on it before. It's actually a really good beer, but the last time I was in Wisconsin, I just drank so much of it, I got real sick of it. It's fine. It's a great cream ale, actually. It's very, very to style. It's very appropriate to style, but it's very good. It's very good. So this Oreo, do you agree that it tastes like Oreos? I've already said. I've already Jedi mind tricked you into.
You get it.
It tastes like Oreos.
I get it on the smell, and I get it on the finish. Or do I get it on the finish?
I think the finish is where you get most of it. Is it made with the gray water from the stadium? They water the grass, and then when they got all the water off the tarp, and it goes into the Blue Moon vat.
I can see where they're coming from. I was expecting it to be really sweetened. Irrational Agent, thank you for your donation. Mr. Regular, look up Saab Heritage. Oh, there, it's scrolled to the top of the screen. That's what the tablet's for. Mr. Regular, look up Saab Heritage Car Museum in Sturgis, South Dakota on Google. Saab USA Museum launching in spring 1950 to 2011. Saabs on display. 100 plus cars. Check it out sometime. If I'm in Sturgis, South Dakota, definitely. I don't do enough Saabs, but Saabs they were never really sold here in Pennsylvania. So I looked at them as kind of weird when they came around. And then when I later learned about how they worked and how they made a front-wheel drive engine with a longitudinally oriented engine block, super weird. And okay. Burgundy Burnouts is being unbelievably generous. You don't have to. Thank you. Take the compliment, Brian. Thank you very much for that. That was very good. Here's to Burgundy Burnouts. Cool. What Burgundy Burnouts is doing is he's taking an old Firebird and he's putting the drive line and running gear from a Subaru in it. So it's going to be a Firebird with all-wheel drive. He says, Happy New Year's to my favorite creator, toasting a bottle of Corona with lime and salt to another year of obscure literary references, poop jokes, and dad voices. Here's to the Firebird GNX. Nice. Firebird STI. Great. Like, we will come to, like, it has to happen on RCR. The Firebird STI. That thing's gonna... I feel weird, and that I've been a fan. I said this in the beginning of this podcast. I feel weird that I've been a fan of car culture all my life, and now I am the car culture. We need to tell everybody that you're making a Firebird STI, and my New Year goal of getting them reviewed. Dude, I am going to review your Firebird STI. It's too crazy not to be talked about. If Steph Schrader went out and reviewed someone who made a four-seater DeLorean, we can do you. I want to do you. What were you reacting to?
I just want to mention that one of the best things I've had on tap, this is not me, this is Chris Henry, says, best things I had on tap was a nitrogenated coffee cider. Ew. Actually, nitro coffee is a thing. So, like, I know bars that had nitro taps. It's like when Nitro was hot shit.
Had that in Austin, Nitro coffee.
Everybody got all these Nitro taps because Nitro was a hot thing. And then nobody bought them. And everybody had Nitro taps. And one way to fill the gap was to, like, third wave coffee was becoming a thing. Not to be confused with third wave ska. Third wave coffee was becoming a thing. So people were putting coffee on their Nitro lines. Like cold brew coffee. So you'd have nitro, just coffee, not coffee porter, coffee stout, just coffee. And that was also okay, but not that great. But nitro coffee cider sounds really good. They make these, what do they call them? There's a beer that's made with coffee cherries. It's called Cascara. Cascara is, I think, a coffee cherry is called Cascara. It's not with a coffee bean. It's made with the fruit. And I don't recall the name of it at the moment. I can look it up here. But that was interesting.
I think there should be a good... This would be like a BuzzFeed article or something on any of the Gawker web rings. Oh, I'm dating myself there with that word.
Web ring. GeoCities.
Angel Fire.
That's an animated GIF.
Nobody gets tired of looking at those things. You could have a website for your the cheats or your
welcome to your doom. You have a super chat for $5 there, which says about Centralia.
Question, Mr. Regular, isn't Centralia on fire for the last 40 years? Yep. How do you manage to get into that hellscape for your reviews? There's nothing stopping you.
You just it used to be Route 61,
Mm-hmm.
and you just stay on the road. And
Yeah.
there's a barrier, and then you go around the barrier. It's not like Chernobyl.
No. There's no checkpoints, no anything. They're trying to crack down on people like having bush parties up there. And well, that's what I hear. I haven't seen a police presence. They keep building the barriers back up, and then someone comes up with like a front end loader and knocks it down again so they can drive around it. I rode up there when I had my dual sport. I just went ompa over the barriers because it was a dirt bike. And well, dual sport, not really dirt bike, but the second I got on the road, the entire highway is tagged now. Every square
graffiti.
foot. Graffiti.
Yeah.
The whole thing is.
There was like a big documentary that came out a little while ago about it, and so it became like a popular spot for a minute. We visited it, like what, freshman or sophomore year of college.
There was hardly any graffiti up there.
Yeah,
and it smoked. Like, I haven't been up there in the wintertime to just see if it's still smoking, but the last like 5 times I went through and just sort of, how's it doing?
Yeah,
it's not really smoking anymore.
I think it was like January when it was me and you and Shoop
and
Matt Carlton.
And we stopped at the Unimart.
And we went to the Unimart and we got a cheeseburger shaped like a hot dog. And life was simpler then. It was 2001.
Yeah.
Summer after freshman year, I think.
That was fun. Was that some
we saw a giant underground mine fire? And it was so great.
Some real night in the woods shit right there.
But it was cold out, so it was like some parts were steaming.
Yeah. Yeah, it hasn't been that cold here in PA. I'm bummed out because I can't ski. Oh, I'm already drunk and we have 2 more beers to drink. This is where shit gets dangerous.
Yeah, I'm getting a little loquacious myself. This podcast should start on like beer 3, because it's, at least for me, and I'm here doing it, it's always a little slow going until we start getting a little bit loose. What's next? Okay.
Tom, I don't think we can do Boilo, and if we do, we're gonna have to do it later.
Do you have a bottle opener for
Yee.
this one? Yee. Yee. Okay, so this is a real. I should save this one. No, we'll drink it now while we're sober-ish. Okay, this beer is called
Uncle Pull Tab. Thank you.
Uncle Pull Tab.
Uncle Pull Tab is a character I made, which is pretty much my uncle.
Oh, that guy.
Hey, kid.
Loquacious is an underrated word. Yeah. People are too often circumlocutory or sesquipedalian. Okay. This beer is called Jesus. And it's from, was it Destruce? This is from Destruce. Yeah, it's from Belgium. It's from Oostvleteren. So Westvleteren is in the west, and Oostvleteren is in the east of Belgium, at least the eastern part of Vleteren. It's called Jesus, and you can see on Instagram, it's got a kind of a Jesus-looking fella in a Santa hat. This beer is from 2015. It's a Belgian Xmas Ale. And so it's going to be quad-like.
Hey, Mr. Regular, have you heard of Rollin' Rock beer? It's got the number 33 on the thing. No one knows what it means.
I keep putting my glass down
there
next to me. You guys could have told me that. Okay. So Jesus, it's spelled Tsjeeses. But in Latin, Jehovah is spelled with an I. It's Jesus. It's a Belgian.
JJ Smith says, ooh, what's that?
Ooh.
Ooh.
And it's...
Will Mr. Regular come to Ohio?
Like I said...
Yeah, I'm in Ohio when I drive through it to go somewhere else.
I'll say that about Iowa too.
Ohio, Ohio,
Ohio.
Ohio State.
Ohio gozaimasu. Doi itashimashite.
Oh, I put it up there. Fell on the floor. I think we reviewed some stuff in like Cincinnati or Columbus or something like that. Rolling Rock greater than AVGN. Oh, Angry Video Game Nerd. I remember. Yeah, he used to drink Rolling Rock. I think he did that because like he was really drinking water, and you can't tell if you put water in a Rolling Rock bottle. So it was a good way to do props. Isafan says recently added a 1994 Volvo 940 Turbo with my 06 Outback and 1966 Porsche 9. That's interesting. Please discuss and have a happy new year. Please discuss the 66 Porsche 912. I think it's a good investment because it's one of the lesser Porsches, and you can have one without having to play 911 prices. As far as the 94 Volvo 940, it's only really going to impress other Volvo nerds. And your 06 Outback is your daily driver. I mean, good job with the 66 Porsche 912. Just keep it clean. You have a good investment. I like it. Thanks, man. And thank you for your donation. Thank you for liking RCR.
So this is a Christmas sale, which means it's going to be like a quad almost. In that it's going to have a lot of the candy sugar. And it's going to have, it's going to be darker.
10%.
It's got that,
wow.
Yeah, it's got that color there. But Belgian Christmas beers typically have some kind of spice element, like a nutmeg or cardamom or something that makes them unique. And a lot of breweries, a lot of Belgian places will make Christmas beers like Delirium Noel or St. Bernardus Christmas Ale. Or, well, that just makes it look yellow.
Yeah.
But, how do I donate? By jacking off. Now, this being from 2015 makes it a little more interesting. I got this actually in Iowa at a bar called London Underground. Give them a shout out. They have a great bottle selection, and they were selling this on a fire sale. And these aren't, these kinds of beers, they don't go bad. Like, so if you see, some places will just put stuff like a less savvy liquor store will have a clearance section that has some like real interesting steals on it, because some styles of beer age and some don't. IPA is not a beer that you want to age generally.
Just turns into like Pulp Fiction. It just turns into vinegar.
Well, no, it's the hop aroma goes away after a while. So it changes when the hops aroma chemicals oxidize. It gets more, it goes bad basically.
Can I drink some of your water?
Yes.
Okay.
I want to say it goes bad. It's not going to kill you, but it's not going to taste very good. But like the higher alcohol styles, and especially the stouts and the sours, especially if it's bottle fermented, those will last forever because they have a lot of buffer against the outside world. And so you can, like, this beer has been sitting there for 2 years probably, and they were trying to get rid of it, I guess. But it's really still very, I really like it. This thing is still very good. It's not oxidized at all. And even if it were, that oxidation in this kind of beer that's very caramely and very brown flavors is okay. It's welcome.
What allows a beer to age? And why do other beers just turn skunky?
Well, it's not that they get skunky. They'll get skunky if you leave them out in the light, right? Because there's a photochemical reaction between the light and some compounds in the hops. But just the amount of hops dying down. If the hops is the main flavor component, like an IPA, then it's not going to be there anymore. So you're going to be left with whatever was there. Whereas beers like, stouts, and except for American stouts, but like barley wines and, these Belgian styles, which have just a pinch of hops, like just a pinch of hops, enough to call it a beer. Okay. Right. They age really well. Right. So I think the hops, you can consider hops as like what's the word? Depreciating quickly.
Okay.
Whereas they're very valuable fresh. We want an IPA as fresh as possible.
Yeah.
That's when it's going to taste the best.
Hmm.
Whereas some style, some beers will, after a year or two, they taste better. Did you say the Dublin Underground in Iowa City? No, I did not. I said the London Underground in Ames, Iowa, not Iowa City.
What is Iowa City?
Iowa City is where the University of Iowa. There's some university there, the Hawkeyes or something. Bunch of chumps.
So that's their state college.
Well, Iowa and Iowa State and University of Northern Iowa are the 3 state universities. But
when I say state college, I'm referring to Pennsylvania. The actual town called State College. Iowa City would be the town that surrounds the college.
Of the University of Iowa, yes. Ames is where Iowa State is, and UNI is in Cedar Falls.
Okay,
but Iowa is, people in Iowa City are a bunch of chumps. There, I'm on record.
Life in the 41T says IPAs are good within 3 months. Weyerbacher Quad is good for 3 years.
That's what I'm saying. A Belgian style with high alcohol, that's going to last longer. You can let it sit. I have some crazy shit in my basement that I just buy and I put it down there and I forget about. And then I'll be like, and you can't go too long. I wouldn't do a beer usually longer than 3 years.
Burgundy Burnouts again.
Unless it's like something really cool. Like a 120 minute. I think that'd be interesting to see what a 120 does. It's very different fresh than if you age it, but that's one example of an IPA that, because there's so much other good stuff in it, it gets better. I got a Belgian ale that came in a wine bottle for Christmas and I drank the shit out of it. Could I have aged it? Yeah, probably. But you could also have drunk it and it would taste just fine. It's not like wine, like where you kind of need a little time for things to get better. There are wine styles, of course, that are better, fresh as possible, but some beers just last longer than others. You want to get to Burgundy.
Burgundy Burnout says the Firebird STI will have a tow hitch. Nice. I want to drive it up to you while towing the Firebird GNX. Nice. Okay, so the Firebird STI will tow the Firebird GNX. I'll be making a travel blog because content and try to hit a bunch of car meets along the way to RCR. Hey, I'm fine with that. If you want to come to Mid-State PA, that's cool. We'll make a day of it or a 2-day of it. I have to warn you, if you come directly to me, there aren't too many nice hotels around here. You
could stay at the Country Squire.
Oh, God.
If you have enough meth.
They take meth in lieu of money. We got the Microtel out by the Cabela's. That's it. And there's a Hampton Inn like 2 exits westbound on 78. That's really it.
Hampton Inn's legit.
They're really consistent on their breakfasts. It's like, the weird thing is, like, with like Hilton brands, they're like, if you go to a DoubleTree, it will be the same breakfast as Hilton. It would be the same breakfast as Hampton, but they will serve it to you and charge you $20. It's all the same stuff as like which is weird because DoubleTree for breakfast. Well, I think Embassy Suites doesn't. And they don't really charge you that much. So if you have the means, I say get an Embassy Suites. It'll be like $20 more a night, but you get a suite. Very affordable. Workforce 520. Thank you for the donation again. It feels like I'm almost always on the road during these things. Yeah, I know, but that's how I know you. Another hilarious year with the RCR guys. Looking forward to 2019 review. Stay safe out there. It's New Year's Eve. Workforce 520 is a trucker. So he's there. He's got the GPS unit on top. He's got the Wi-Fi in his truck.
Yeah.
And he's got his tablet there watching us as he's going wherever he's going.
That's cool.
Keep an eye on this. Tell us what you're hauling if you're allowed to.
I see that.
I think he told us he was hauling like Toys R Us stuff. Like, Toys R Us still around? Well, anyway, it was like toys. It was something. Austin. Gallon says, Happy New Year's from the frozen wasteland that is rural Saskatchewan.
Okay.
I actually see that Ella swapped DeLorean at car shows around here, and it's pretty cool. Yeah.
Is that the guy that was at my house?
The guy with the yellow swap DeLorean was the guy who was at your house.
That guy was at my house.
Not Austin, not this
I know
guy.
that guy. No,
this guy knows the guy.
The DeLorean guy.
Yeah.
We hung out. Did he go swimming? No.
I think he like dunked it. I think he wasn't planning that. Hey, let's go swimming with
Bring a
Mr.
bathing
Regular.
suit to see Mr. Regular.
Yeah.
I remember that guy. I have to give another shout out to the Mucky Duck Pub because they actually have me. That's the Mucky Duck Pub in Ames, Iowa. They have me on all of the TVs right now.
Really?
Yeah. I guess it's a little slow at the pub tonight.
On New Year's Eve.
It's I can just do my well, over there. I'd like to do a bit of UK trivia, and so I sort of lapse into this accent, which is not an impression of anyone in particular. But I think that whoever this accent might be based on has a big thing planned for tonight. He's going to drop a ball or something. He's got big balls to drop. No. I don't know. He's building something. He's from some kind of rig that he's going to drop a duck or a haggis or I don't know. Anyway.
We'll find out when we go out tonight. This is our 15-minute warning. We have a reservation at 10. We got 15 minutes before we have to wrap this up. And
thanks. It is actually based on a real person.
We'll get to the last one, and then
Wessex.
we will wrap this up.
Sussex. Wessex. He did his PhD at Sussex. Brian doesn't know that I have 2 beers, and one of them is a gigantic bomber. Okay. Okay, you guys. Should we do tiramisu stout or Founders Canadian breakfast stout? You get to pick. Can you hear him? Malort. I'm not doing Malort. That one. This one? CBS? Can you drive? We're walking to the bar. It's down the street. Okay, the people have spoken. They want this one.
Oh, boy.
What's a good beer that tastes nothing like beer or alcohol? People ask that all the time.
Really?
And
what's a good car?
I think it's just what's something that doesn't taste like alcohol? I think it's a taste that's worth acquiring.
Like, I want a beer that doesn't. Let me read this again. Ann on Island 5. What's a good, and thank you for your donation, by the way. What's a good beer that tastes nothing like beer or alcohol? Not even O'Doul. O'Doul still tastes like beer,
but it doesn't have alcohol in it.
Yeah. Sparkling grape juice.
Oh, Eric Hunsaker has
really
in to say that CBS
Eric
is sadly overrated.
CBS.
Well, I have no idea how that tiramisu stout is, so I'm going to say that.
Eric,
Canadian...
man, we missed you at Trogs. I wish you were there.
All right,
give my best to the baby. I haven't even seen the baby yet. Sorry, I'm a little drunk.
He's got 2 babies. He's got 2. Got the second one, yeah. It's weird how that happens. You don't see somebody in 4 years. So this is CBS. It's from Founders in Michigan. They're in Kalamazoo. No, Bell's in Kalamazoo. Where's Founders? Traverse City. Grand Rapids. Canadian breakfast stout is an imperial stout that's brewed with chocolate and coffee, and it's aged in maple syrup bourbon barrels. It's pretty much soda. Stiegel Radler doesn't taste like beer. That's true. Stiegel Radler does not taste like beer. That's good.
That's good.
Wish I skipped the family party.
Eric Constantino wishes. Cheers, gents. Cheers to Eric. Where's your
Eric?
Is it next to you again? Oh,
I don't know.
sorry.
I keep putting it down. There we go. So Canadian. I mean, just the maple bit. There's a Mountie on the. Well, there's a horse. It's not a Mountie. It's just a horse. And you're a horse. Ooh.
Cheers to Eric Hunsinger.
To Eric. My best man. May you finally land the Quigley
loan. It's been too long, Eric. Far too long.
So this is one of those beers. If you've had KBS, Kentucky Breakfast Stout.
Austin says drinking Canadian beer gives me a patriotic erection.
Well, this says made in the USA. This is a very confusing label, actually. They probably, actually, the TTB probably made them put that on there because it says Canadian.
TTB?
Actually, it's only called CBS. I bet they called it Canadian Breakfast Stout, and TTB said, hold on a minute, you can't say that because people are going to think it's from Canada. So now it says CBS, product of the US. Anyway, TTB. Anyway, so we're drinking CBS, or what is colloquially known as Canadian Breakfast Stout.
It's got a horse, but no one riding it, but it has a saddle on it. Barrel Age Series, Founders. Pure Blue 11.6. Holy moly.
So it's brewed, so it's aged in bourbon barrels that also have maple syrup in them, I guess, or maple syrup kind of. Oh, here's Eric sending me a picture.
What does Eric say?
Eric is cheersing a beer.
Hey.
As well. There's Eric. Cheers, my man.
Cheers, man.
English ale is the greatest. I don't disagree. I really like English styles. I'm a big fan.
That didn't help.
It's fine.
Okay.
Fine.
It's exactly this. It's getting thinner, but it's the exact same hair that goes everywhere, just like high school.
Yeah.
Yep. English ale is the greatest. I was in England and I was surprised. Okay, yeah, the English pint is larger than our pint, but we're used to, like, if I see a beer that's less than 6%, I don't really think much. Like, oh, it's not a high volume anymore. There, most of their like cask beers are like 3.2. I was surprised at that.
Yeah, I mean, they have this style called bitter, basically. That's
yeah, I thought it literally meant bitter, like nice and puckery. Like, I didn't know.
An ordinary bitter is usually less than 4%, and it's a drink like with thirsty drinking beer. You know,
yeah,
like you can fire back quite a few of those.
Yeah,
you know, the only bitter that you'll see in the American market really is an ESB, and those are between 5 and 6 because that's what we're used to.
Yeah.
If we drink like
I don't know what it was.
Drink like a Boddington's, or like an Old Speckled Hen. Even Old Speckled Hen is actually more like an ESB, but those taste watery. It tastes like a watery beer.
I feel weird in saying
palate.
Like, yeah,
when you're used to America, 11%,
yeah,
maple syrup.
I'm like
sticking in a bourbon barrel.
Oh, I like my IPAs to taste like a lawnmower's catch bag. And so Tom Clark takes us to
the guy from the band,
The Enemy.
The Enemy.
Name drop. Sorry. But he says, well, let's go to this pub. I played here back in 90s something. And this pub has been here for 106 years. First of all, that you're trying to get into that frame of mind that this has been here, and you know, the concrete or the stone that the step you take to get into it has been worn down into a U. And we go in there and I'm like, awesome. I'm in a legit English pub. I'm going to get a fucking pint. And I go up there and I pay with my card. There's a chip in it. And that made problems because they're all used to the tap thing over there.
They're all tappy.
They're all
in
tappy.
Copenhagen. Everyone's tap, tap, tap. And I'm like, I don't have the tap, tap, tap. I have the chippy, chippy. Oh, no. You need the tap, tap, tap.
Oh, you need the pen, 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 and write. No one has
right,
it. No one has a pen.
Signy. I don't have the signy. I have the tappy, tappy. That was my best Eddie Izzard.
So I got my big pint. I'm like, awesome. I take it to this table, and it was brilliant. And the table was wobbly. And then and I took a drink, and I'm like Yingling. And it had that. I could drink.
It's not the worst thing.
It wasn't the worst thing. So I had like 4 or 3 or something. As I guess I was doing what I was supposed to do, and we had pub food, and it was fantastic.
It's a session. He drinks a whiskey drink. He drinks a vodka drink. He drinks a lager drink. He
drinks a cider drink. Happy New Year, Mr. Regular from NGOTB and the lovely lady.
Nerf guy on the bench.
Nice. What camera do you use? My primary camera for this is a Logitech thing I just got off of Amazon. The primary camera for RCR is a Nikon D750. The backup camera used to be the primary camera. It's a Nikon 5300. I wholly recommend the 5300 because it does nearly everything. It still shoots in 1080. Go to 4K if you want. I do have a 4K camera. I rarely use it because most people are still watching. Like most people watch YouTube on their devices.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you know that from the stats?
Analytics? Yeah. Most people it's tablets. Yes, your your iPad, whatever their version, can do 4K. But, that's an investment we don't have to make right now. I built my computer in 2014, still running strong. I have no reason to do anything other than 1080p. We've got to wrap this up in 6 minutes if we're going to walk.
We're going to try.
And we have to walk because both of us are drunk.
We definitely have to walk. We're going to try. I want to give a shout out to this brewery because I really like them. I'm
going to put this in the fridge. I figure this would be okay if it's flat.
Yeah, it'll be okay.
So
tomorrow.
I'm going to get a fresh glass.
While Brian's gone, I just wanted to put it in an order at the Mucky Duck Pub. If you want to fuck me off a sculpin, mate, with a rumpies, that'll be great. But this is a brewery called Barrel House Z, and it is in Weymouth. It's in fucking Weymouth, Massachusetts.
$1.25, please.
There are no toll booths in the state of Massachusetts anymore.
Really?
Toll booth Willie is out of a job.
Oh, man.
Also, they ran him over at the end of the sketch. Sherry's berries. Toll booth, yeah, Bill Burr is like Toll Booth Willie's kid.
Yeah.
But anyway, this brewery is called Barrel House Z. They specialize in barrel aging stuff. I've never had a bad beer from them. And this is called Zelato. And it is a tiramisu stout. It is... That's all it says. But I assume that it has like caramel and stuff. Like a tiramisu.
That's good.
There is a brewery in Boulder that my grandparents just went to. Okay. There's a lot of breweries in Boulder. The biggest one is Avery. At least the most famous one.
What was the place?
There's Boulder Beer, which is an OG craft brewery.
What was the place we went to that was like in an industrial yard?
That was Avery. They're not there anymore. They moved to a very large facility in Gun Barrel, which is very cool. It's right next to McDonald's. Where's there a McDonald's in Boulder? There's one on Arapahoe and Broadway.
Someone just said Will Downs is right next to the McDonald's and they make burgers.
Yeah.
Mr. Regular looks trashed. I am pretty drunk.
We're getting there. We're getting there. Drink water, please. We're going to a bar. They'll have water there.
I'm going to get more water. Tom has water. He didn't bring it.
That's pretty good. Very bourbony, very barrel-y bourbony. Coffee Guinness. That's a little different than the CBS. I probably should have saved that for last, but you guys want that?
Well, Mr. Regular, make it to midnight. I don't know about that, but when everybody's done here, if you feel like staying on, so Chaz, he was guy hungry.
Good luck not having to pee on the walk to the bar. That's a good reminder to go, actually.
Yeah. Elysian is the shit. Fall beers are always on point.
Elysian's pretty good. I like the Space Dust. It's pretty high volume at this point.
And that's a sweet finish. Like actual like candy sweet to me, to my palate.
But this is aged in, it just says whiskey barrels, so it might not be actual bourbon. Or they would have said bourbon barrels. But bourbon barrels are very easy to come by because bourbon has to be made in new wood. So you get one use out of the barrel, basically.
Yeah.
And so that's part of why there's so many bourbon barrel stout, bourbon
hot sauce and barbecue sauce and
aged in craft. So it's probably aged in early times or old granddad.
Shit. Nikolai 100.
10 high.
Four Roses.
10 high is a good one.
My aunt makes
Four Roses is good too.
My aunt makes the Ryder family.
5 o'clock.
My brother made space dust.
It's very good.
What is space dust?
It's from Elysian.
You know, it is 9:30. We have to do a hard out because we have to walk. If we're going to make our reservation at 10. Beer? Jerry Orbach says lemon curry.
They both have Jerry Orbach's eyeballs shoved into their heads.
What's that from?
It's a John Mulaney bit. Jerry Orbach donated his eyes to the New York Eye Bank.
Huh. Jerry Orbach.
Don't forget to bring a towel. It's raining outside. A towel is probably not the worst thing. I have a golf umbrella.
I think I should swap these for some contacts because I'm going to be that guy who walks into the bar and be like,
Like what?
You know, like we're going to be walking in the rain and I have eyeglasses on.
So what specifically are you going to do?
Try to be like trying to wipe the rain off my glasses. Yeah. It's going to be humid in there and the glasses won't dry.
Don't put your contacts in. We're probably going to see like Rachel Bodenberg or something.
Okay.
I don't think this will be as big of a high school reunion as Michael B's is for us, but you never know who you'll see at the Brick House Grill. Bourbon blurb blurb bourbon. Little windshield wipers. Little windshield wipers like on the headlights of a Saab. My buddy's mom. My buddy's mom had a Saab and it had windshield wipers on the headlights and it blew my mind. I was like 10, but that was like the height of luxury. It said my headlights have windshield wipers.
There's only been a few times in my life where I noticed that you really need those things. And it's when
Saab.
2 days after a snowstorm where everything's covered in cinders and salt and all the trucks are throwing it up on you.
Yeah.
But it's like such a specific thing. I'll bet it's like an EU bureaucracy thing that you have to have those things.
Did you guys hear all that? Brian says that the reason there are wipers in the windshield is because it was an EU bureaucracy thing. I don't know. Justin, did your Saab have windshield wipers on the headlights?
Remember that Mercedes that my mom bought?
that red thing.
Yes.
You took it
Yeah,
to Star Wars at one time.
The Santa Claus one.
Yeah, that one
The
had
Mercedes-Benz.
SOK 230 compressor. It had headlight washers, like high pressure jets that emerged from the front and just sprayed your headlights clean.
Jake wants to know if no shots policy is in effect this evening.
Tom has never been a liquor guy, to my knowledge. We went to that one distillery, that one New Year's up in Ithaca, but that was the only time really on a model.
Well, it's a snap, so it might be gone. All right, here he goes. Press and hold to replay. Tap to chat. There it is. We're on the.
Oh, my hands are. I can't.
It's a snap.
You can't zoom in.
I don't know. I don't think so.
That is so weird. We're in we're being live cast in some bar in Iowa. That's nuts. F for respect. Press F for respect.
Funny about Saabs, the engine was backwards. Explain yourself.
What do you mean it was backwards? Like the timing chain was
finish
in the rear?
Flash. Explain yourself. Why was the engine backwards?
See, here's the thing. There's no such thing as a backwards engine. You just have to position the rear main seal to wherever you want the crank to be. An engine really doesn't care in what direction it's facing as long as you maintain oil pressure. It's like
life.
There was even a General Motors engine that ran the front half shafts for a four-wheel drive through the oil pan. It was nuts. I just learned that today from Justin Kramer. You know, they made radial engines where the pistons go in a circle.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That was an airplane one, right?
Yeah. Some guy made a motorcycle out of this.
Sometimes. I don't understand. I had to listen to all this for 5 years before we started the YouTube channel. And just
Tom.
nod along.
Sorry, Tom.
No, I would try to understand, but I'm not that kind of engineer. I'm a chemical engineer. I understand molecules and stuff. And to a certain extent,
Crazy Ivan. Oh, we've got super chats coming in at the last minute. Please, no more super chats. We have to leave. Duncan Peter, where's Crazy Ivan?
Crazy Ivan's House of Yugos.
Catching 15,000. Oh, I gotta scroll to the right, to the very bottom. Scrolling to the bottom. Crazy Ivan 2 times.
Getting a little flushed.
Me?
I am.
Mr. R, the most interesting man on YouTube. Happy 2039. This guy's most interesting man on YouTube. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir.
In that I am on YouTube right now.
Steve G, for your generous donation. Happy year. This is Steve, the guy who had the insultingly low offer on the Subaru from CarMax. Oh, I remember that. $200 is what this guy offered. CarMax offered for a Subaru Outback. Yeah, it had problems, but still, that's less than the scrap they would get for that car, which is probably why they were offering that. Because in case they got burned, they could still get $350 in scrap for the car.
It's my Subaru Outback.
He's sitting in the truck in Ohio. Steve G.
Ohio.
Oh, and one more guy, Jesse Page. Don't leave. We got to leave, man.
Don't leave. Yeah, man, Rachel Bodenberg might be there. She's married.
Leave so I can leave. Someone does it. Look, guys, we got 20 minutes to walk to this bar, and so it's a mile away. So we got to go.
Far? I guess so.
About that. It's downhill.
Does it take 20 minutes to walk a mile?
As long as we don't get sidetracked along the way.
Are we going to go to the marketplace?
All right, guys. This has been a great evening to you. Happy New Year's to everybody. Thank you so much for liking RCR. Tom Mix on Twitter. Anything else you want to promote?
Tom Mix Drinks is my Twitter. Tom Mix Drinks.
Tom Mix Drinks on Twitter. @ Tom Mix Drinks. Go follow him.
Yes, it's an imperative and a declarative.
This has been a great night, guys.
That was
Thank you so
fun.
much for keeping us company. Thank you for all your beer reviews. Thank you to everybody who donated. You're helping RCR exist as a much larger YouTube channel than it really is. Thank you to everybody who donates on Patreon. We use your money to fund our travel budget. RCR Toronto in August 2019. NZ and me in probably March. Still have to buy tickets. Apart from that is geez, we have to figure out RCR Ames. We have to figure out RCR Ames. Well, if it's in the summertime, what, you got to fly to Des Moines and then get up from there?
40 minutes.
40-minute drive from Des Moines. Okay. Could do an Uber.
Pick you up in the Highlander.
Nice.
It's a moral imperative. It's a categorical imperative.
Yes, Burgundy Burnout says 2019 will be the year of the RCR Firebird. Yes, the Firebird STI. Come to the Midwest. I was just in, well, we talked about it. I will return to the Midwest. You guys get to a bar. Indeed, we will. Have a very good night. Good night.
Bye, Mucky Duck.